Welcome back to the Loan Officer Success Partner. I'm Devin Dubuc, and today, man, I see him over here. You guys know, in fact, he's going to get a special introduction because this has been a long time in the making.
So,
Take it from the top.
That's right, guys. We got Magic Mike Cardascia in the house today. So, guys, get ready for the heat because we're about to bring this thing on. Let's get it on.
let's go.
Mike, my man, dude. You know, I'm glad that you showed up here today. 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, man, I met you for the first time on a morning show. And I was like, dude, I love this guy's energy. I love what he brings to the table. And now we get to do it together, man. So thank you for jumping on today. And man, the cat, I think, can we let it out of the bag, brother? What's going on right now?
I think it's time, man. Yeah.
What's happening? So what'd you do? You did something.
I did something. We did a thing, man. Well, I am stoked. I just joined Premier Lending as well. I'm the VP of Growth, and I have never been more fired up in my life, man. So I'm honored to be here with you and to change more lives together.
I'm fired up with you, man. You know, Premier Lending, that's my label too, right? Yep. So we're cohorts, man. We're in this thing together now. And man, I know you've got some just amazing things in store for Premier Lending and some of the things that we're working on the leadership team to bring to the people that we have here. But also, man, we're out there to spread this out there to everybody, right? Like, you know, there needs to be a fire in this industry right now. You know, there's a lot of people that have kind of hit that doom and gloom stage, and it doesn't have to be that way. And I know you share that passion. I share that passion. Our owners, the Farage brothers, they're there, Coach Rick, and there may be some other folks joining our team that we can't talk about yet. But man, you know, the things that we're doing over here, you know, are not just for our group. We want to help everybody. We want to serve this community right. And man, you've landed here right in the middle of it. We're about to do some crazy things together, man. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't imagine better people to do it with, man. So yeah, I'm excited, guys. I'm going all in on my own production, building a team here at Premier, pouring into our loan officers. Just a really exciting role for me to be I guess a producing sales leader, you know, and to pull back the curtain on what I'm doing and help light the way for other people.
Oh, let's do it, man. Carry that torch, and we know you do so well. But let's take it back a little bit, man. So I know you're down there in the beaches of Florida, but is that where you're from originally? Is that your home state?
It is. So originally, my family is from Long Island, New York. We moved when I was young, around 7 years old. We moved to the Naples, Fort Myers area. So that's where I really grew up. I'm a thoroughbred Floridian. And for the last decade, I've been living in Tampa Bay. Specifically now, I'm in the St. Pete area, like you said, right down the street from the beaches, the downtown. And it's become my favorite place in the world. I love St. Pete.
Oh, that's great, man. That's great. So, you know, I thought I picked up an accent in there, and now it makes a lot of sense. You know,
I get that a lot, yeah.
And I've met your mom too. You know what I mean? So we ran into each other in Clearwater, right up the street from where you're at in St. Pete's.
Yeah.
And I was wondering where it came from. Now it all makes sense. Checks out.
I get that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So grew up there, went to school there, and just, man, you know let's talk about this, man. So Magic Mike, we had a conversation about this a couple days ago. Where did that come from, man?
Magic Mike. So when I was I was in 11th grade, and I was in a TV production class in high school. And there was two roles that you could have in this class. You were either on the school news, like on the teleprompter, you know, that went out to every classroom to go over the sports and the school news and announcements, things of that nature. Or you were behind the scenes doing the filming, the editing, the back end stuff. And because I was just so tech challenged, it just forced me to put myself on camera, although I didn't really want to do that at the time.
Yeah.
I was just like, all right, great, I'll read the sports news. So they actually called me Magic Mike, and I was on the news every day, and I made the big announcements. I became kind of popular around high school. And it's funny, a lot of people know me as that now in the mortgage industry to magically help them grow their business and bring in more leads and to scale to that next level. So it's kind of funny how things all circled back to the beginning.
I love it, man. I love it. Just full circle. And, you know, you were just always meant to be in the limelight, right? You know, because at the end of the day, you're passionate, and, you know, that passion, it's serving people and helping them achieve their dreams, whether it's a client that's trying to become a homeowner or somebody in our origination staff, right? That's just trying to get to that next level and doesn't quite know how to do to get there. And you talked about this a little bit before we jumped on the show, something about the 5 pillars, man. You know, can we share some of those secrets today?
Yeah, I would love to. Because if you're listening, this is a great time to pull out your notes because I'll leave you with some good nuggets to walk away from the show with. And I'd suggest that I share an interesting perspective in the industry. I mean, just a little bit more background going to the beginning, like you were saying. What I didn't mention is I grew up in a household where my dad was a top producing real estate agent, top 1% realtor in Naples, Florida. My mom's been in the mortgage industry for over 30 years and still is. I had a really big break in the industry when I partnered with Carl White and worked together at the Mortgage Marketing Animals and took over 5,000 strategy sessions helping loan officers and branch managers around the nation. And today I'm a student at Go Coaching and I'm mentored by Amir Syed and Justin Lapatin. So a lot of what I'm about to share with you is an influence of the many, many mentors and the greats that I had the blessings and opportunity to work with, and even my own family's experience and decades in the industry as well. And what I found, Devin, is that I think the number one obstacle for most originators is just having clarity on what to actually do. A lack of clarity breeds a lack of action. And almost like with dieting or working out, if you don't have a tactful plan, a step-by-step process on what to attack,
Yeah.
it makes it really difficult to get ahead, to be successful, to be consistent, to be motivated when we are winging it every step of the way. And in my 6, 7, 8,000 consultations I've had with originators, with real estate agents alike, I find that 90+% of people literally don't have a concrete plan.
Yeah.
So that's where I started to develop this framework of the 5 pillars of consistent real estate lead generation. And if you guys are fans of like Alex Ramosi, Gary Vaynerchuk, Dan Martell, some of the folks I mentioned earlier, then you'll see a lot of that influence in the frameworks that I've developed. So what I call this, Devin, is the 5 pillars of consistent real estate lead generation. And essentially, hey, there's lots of ideas, there's lots of tactics, there's lots of strategies on how you actually bring in new leads in business. And generally, they all fall under 5 categories.
Yeah.
What I find is if you master one, that's a straightforward path to becoming a 6-figure earner. If you can master 2, you can make multiple 6 figures, maybe even 7 figures in this industry, let alone if you actually do master 3 or 4. That's what creates the top percentile originators in the entire nation, when you can combine lead generating strategies.
Well, I love what you're saying here, Mike. You're saying, hey, look, there's 5. But you don't have to do all 5 to have success. And it depends on what level of success that you're looking for, right? At the end of the day, if you want to be a 6-figure earner and you're not there yet, master 1, right? But if you want to move yourself up that category and scale yourself up to being a mega producer and have a mega opportunity, you're going to give the skill set to help them get there. And I always look at it like this. You know, if I was to tell you, hey, Mike, we're going to go down to let's just say Costa Rica, and you got your passport, but I'm not going to give you a map. Could you get to Costa Rica? Probably. You might get there, but man, I just want to know what kind of journey you're going to have, all the different roadblocks and things you're going to run into to get to that point. And it's probably going to be a little scary. You know what I mean? But if you've got a map that walks you exactly where to go and to make sure that you don't hit the wrong territories and end up, you know, I don't know, in a Mexican prison or with the cartel, right? Man, you're going to get there a lot faster with all the bumps and bruises that everybody else had. So now you've got the 5 pillars that you've had 7,000, 8,000 different strategy sessions with multiple coaching programs. Literally, that you've been able to narrow it down and say, these are the 5 things. If you do these and do them well, you can create major success for yourself.
100%. And not necessarily even 5 things to do. Each category might have different things to do within them, but you got it. There's 5 different pillars, concepts here of what to attack. And what I'll do more or less, like you mentioned, everybody's in a different stage in their career and place in their life. I'll generalize this to what I see to be top priority for most people if you will, right? So there's 5 pillars. Number 1 is your warm nurture marketing. That's going to be your database. We really want to focus on squeezing the most juice and getting all that you got from everything that you have before we focus on generating new relationships. I find that most people are really more so focused on the next prospect, the next referral partner, generating the new lead, but we're not really working the relationships and the leads that we've already conjured to the best of our capability. And for 90% of loan officers in the nation, this has got to be the main foundation. If you implement the other pillars to bring a new business, which we'll touch on here today, but you don't have the foundation set for your warm nurture list, and really we're not burning on all cylinders, being most effective and efficient with our time. So what does warm nurture mean? Devin, we're going to focus on our existing relationships, past clients, friends and family, associates, referral partners. Hey, if you've been in the industry for a while, every purchase you've ever done had a listing agent and a buyer's agent on that agreement. We want to go back and stay, like Amir says, stay in flow, right? That's the way I look at follow-up now, is it staying in flow with somebody. And if you're not in flow with the contacts you already have, we really have no right to be building new relationships and reaching out to people that we don't, right? So there's a few really powerful ways that we work our warm nurture list, and that's going to look like spontaneous. I'm doing this with parentheses, right? Spontaneous, because
It's going to feel spontaneous.
to the other person it feels spontaneous, but to us it's planned, right? A planned, spontaneous phone call to check in, to offer guidance, help, maybe to do a post-closing consultation, an annual mortgage review, right? Simply saying, hello, I appreciate you. I had a few minutes to chat. Right? We absolutely want to stay in flow like a good friend. Like when Devin calls me, it just shows that he cares. It shows that he's thinking of me. It shows that we're friends. It could be just to say hello. It doesn't bug me. It's not going to annoy me, just like it does with our clients and with our agents. You think about like your closest relationships with friends and family, the ones that reach out to us and that we reach out to, we have a better relationship with.
That's right.
So it's really important that we're doing our spontaneous phone calls, to be sending out a weekly email newsletter of value, to be engaging with people on social media, not just making posts, but engaging with people, showing love, appreciation, shooting them a message periodically, right? Keeping up with them and what's going on in their life. Maybe hosting events, client appreciation get-togethers. I do meetups all across St. Petersburg, so I always have something of value to invite my people to. Right, so there's a lot of ways to market to that warm nurture list, and that has to be the top priority. So the number one way is your friends, your family, your clients, your leads that never converted, your referral partners, offline and online, social media and phone calls. That's going to be the easiest way, the fastest way to getting your next 3 transactions. I promise you, it's through that warm nurture list.
So let me ask you this, Mike, because at the end of the day, a lot of people, they hear this and they go, I don't know where to start. Like I've been so bad at this and I'm not, and I've got decades of people that I just haven't called. And I'm afraid if I pick up the phone, they're just going to hang up the phone, or why didn't you call me before? Right. How do we help people get past that? Right. Because I think you and I both know that's not how those calls are going to go. Right. But when you're stuck and you're just like, man, that phone seems scary because I'm afraid they're going to get mad at me, right? Like, how do you move somebody from, hey, it's okay, right, to let's start making these calls together?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I find it does hold a lot of people back. I like to think about it where I put myself in the other person's shoes. So let's say that, like, I drive a Jeep Wrangler. If you know me, like I'm a Jeep fanatic, right? I bought this Jeep I'm looking at outside in 2022, and I've never heard from the car salesman. I was like a one call close, if you will. I showed up, I bought it like spontaneously on the spot. I've never heard from that cat. If he reached out to me today to say, Mike, I know it's been too long. I apologize. I meant to keep up with you better, but I'm cleaning up my files right now, and I just wanted to see, how's the Jeep running, man? You still have that bad boy? I wouldn't think, man, what a jerk. I can't believe he never reached out. I would just appreciate it. I would just appreciate, almost like an old buddy or an old friend, right? Like if Devin and I, God forbid, we hadn't spoken in 2 years, and he said, dude, it's been forever, man. Time flies. I've been meaning to catch up with you. That's a really cool call to make. So the call that we're so worried about, like maybe offending people, bugging people, pestering people, making a bad impression, really it's very What happens is very counterintuitive because people, just like friends and family, they often just appreciate the fact that we reached out. And Devin, they don't hear from their real estate agent, their financial advisor, their doctor, their attorney, their car salesman. I want to be the guy. We want to be the people that do show love,
Change
appreciation,
the pattern.
even if it's been too long. And that's
Yeah.
how you stand out in business, right?
That's it. Well, I couldn't agree with you more. You change the patterns, right? You change the patterns, and at the end of the day, they come back and they go, "Man, that Mike is just different. I really like him. He took the time to actually think about picking up, and they don't care that it's been 2 or 3 years, right? Like genuinely, we care more than they do because we're like, man, I should have been making those calls. I didn't make those calls. Why didn't I make those calls? But the reality of the situation is, when you pick up the phone and just say, "Hey, Mike, man, I got to tell you, I was thinking about you the other day. I remember we closed that transaction. Man, how are you?" Right? How's life been? How are the kids? And if you're notating your files well, which, I think a lot of us do a good job of that these days in your CRM, or some people still take good old fashioned notes, right? You can utilize that. Hey, I remember you guys were super excited about getting that pool in the backyard. How's that working out for you guys? And man, I remember, how excited you guys were. And I'm just glad that we could make that dream come true for you. And hey, by the way, anything I can do for you at all, not even just anything at all. Just, I want you to know that I'm here for you, right? We don't have to ask them for something on that call other than just a friendly gesture, a thank you, right? And if we do want to end it, hey, by the way, I loved working with you and the family. If you happen to come across somebody, or, who's the one person right now that might need help from me, right? But always offer to help them first, I think. And honestly, if it's my first follow-up call in a long time, I don't know if I'm going straight in for the ask. I think I'm offering my help, and then I'm going to touch base another quarter later. I'm going to get them on my follow-up system. I'm going to DM them and talk to them through my social accounts. And then maybe on the next phone call, hey, by the way, know anybody that I might be able to help out, right?
I could not agree. I love that you said that because I think contrary to popular coaching advice, I am a big proponent that if I haven't spoken to somebody in several months, a year, I don't ask. And that's where that spontaneous call comes to mind.
My
It
man.
seems so much more authentic
Yeah.
because truly it is, right? If you don't have like that motive of I'm asking for the business today. And the same absolutely rings true for agents. If you know me, I'm like a follow-up machine. And I'll admit I dropped the ball on following up with an agent that I had met several months ago, maybe like 4 or 5 months ago. Totally just
Happens
missed
to
my
the best
system,
of us.
right? It happens. So I reached out last week to check in just like you did, which sparked a memory. Didn't ask for business, but hey, we had that great meeting. It's been too long. How's it going with X, Y, and Z? They texted me an hour later, dude, it was great catching up. Appreciate you reaching out. It just goes to show how much you really care. And I thought, wow, that's funny because I felt like I dropped the ball, right? Like I'm playing catch up at
100%.
this point. So it's so important that you do, guys. You got to stay in flow with people
man.
like you would a friend. Social
You-
media, emails, phone calls.
You want to know how to not sound salesy? Don't be salesy. Don't be salesy, right? A call is a call. Just touching base to ask somebody how they are, right? And just letting them know that you're there for them with whatever they need, right? Now, we're not saying never tell people what we do. That's different, right? But at the end of the day, you don't have to sound salesy when you actually care about the people you want to do business with.
Well, let's take that a step further because we talk a lot about recently about how to use AI and technology to get ahead and be more efficient and effective. But we also talk about how to stand out as a human, right, to compete against AI and our other competitors. What a way, if you want to stand out compared to the mass of automations and AIs, bots that our competitors use, show people you care. Call them and tell them, appreciate them, love on them. You can't, a robot cannot replace that.
That's right.
So it's so important that we do. And that's got to be first and foremost is the warm nurture. That is the fastest route from point A to point B to getting your next 3 transactions as quickly as possible. Now, for most of us probably won't be able to reach our big mortgage goals just through our warm network. So although it's the first place you turn to, I think the most important personally, in my opinion,
Amen.
that's most likely, especially if you have big goals, right? If you have big goals in this industry, you perhaps won't do that just from your database and warm network alone. So the second pillar is cold prospecting. The strategy of proactively reaching out to strangers to then turn them into referral partners and clients. And I think that this is one of the most underrated, highly profitable, one of the best ways to get business. Because every one of us can reach our goals through cold prospecting. Every single one of us, whether you want to make $250,000, $500,000, $1 million, multiple seven figures, every single one of us listening to this can reach our goals through cold prospecting, where maybe we can't just through our warm network alone. And there's lots of ways to cold prospect, right, Devin? Hey, we could help you make phone calls. One of the best ways, just to deliberately reach out to people, to use the right script to meet with them one-on-one, Zoom or coffee, right? You can call people. You can use social media. You can go to networking events. You can pop by offices. You can go to open houses. But what I'll share here, this is a big topic in itself. If you are not booking appointments, if you are not landing the one-on-one, you are not effectively prospecting. So you could be doing any and all of those activities I just rattled off, but the epitome of building relationships, landing referral partners, cold prospecting is actually getting that appointment. And when we think about how drastic this can change, how drastically this can change our business in even a short time frame, we got to think, Devin, there's 52 weeks in the year, right? So let's say
last time I looked.
Yeah, last time. If you took 2 weeks off, that's 50 working weeks. If you booked, for the sake of this conversation, because ideally I'd want you doing more, let's say you booked just 3 appointments a week, every single week like clockwork. I think we can all do that, right, Devin? 3 appointments.
No question
a week.
about it. No
That's
question.
150 referral partner appointments. Can you imagine what your business looks like after you've met 150 new agents, financial advisors, CPAs, divorce attorneys, investors? Would you sell twice as much? 3, 4, 5 times? Imagine having an extra 15 referral partners. How would you not after you met 150 new people? You could be a horrible salesperson. And after meeting 150 people, still walking
Somebody's
out.
bound to like you. Yeah. Somebody's bound to be your person. Yeah. Well, let's talk about that real quick. Because, you talk, the moment you say cold, some people's heart goes cold, right? Like they're instantly like, oh my God, I'm petrified, right? So let's talk about real quick some ways to warm up a cold call, right? Because look, man, I'm all for calling, and I will, no question about it. I got no problem picking up the phone as long as you have great design conversations to help get past that. And I think one of the ones that I love is, hey, is this Mike? Hey, Mike, man, I see what you've been doing out there in the industry, and I got to tell you, I know at some point in time, we're going to come across each other on the battlefield, right? Like you're going to see a contract that comes over with my name on the other side of it. And, what I found is that if you know who I am, you might actually accept that contract. If you don't know me, you may throw it on the other stack and go with somebody else. Hey, I'm just trying to make connection with other great people out there so that when you do see me on the other side of that transaction, you're like, oh, that's Devin. I know him. Yeah. So, hey, would you be able to do a 15-minute call maybe this week or next? We can sit down and get to know each other a little bit.
I love that. That's one of my favorite scripts, man. One of my favorite scripts. So when it comes to prospecting agent referral partners, which is certainly my main target and what I teach, that's what we prioritize. Although I am a huge fan of landing other types of industry partners nowadays. I've changed up my strategy from being 100% agent focused to also mixing in financial advisors, CPAs, and attorneys, almost like the 80-20 rule, Devin. I'd say 80% goes towards agents, 20% goes towards other industry partners. When it comes to agents, guys, there's 3 ways that you prospect new agent partners. They're either going to be the listing agents on the transactions that you currently have done in the past. You're going to be referred to them by somebody else, perhaps like another real estate agent is one of the best ways of meeting and warming them up is meeting new agents. Is
absolutely
ones that you already like and work with, right? It's one of the best ways. And then you have prospecting them where you proactively reach out somewhat out of the blue. Now, how do you warm them up? Awesome question. And it actually goes into the next pillar as well. So it's an awesome question. Pillar number 3 is your organic online content. If you want to warm somebody up before you reach out, before you ask for the business, or better yet, go for that first appointment, then we want to engage with them on social media. This is a tactic known as social selling. And as you, let's say that I've never met Devin before, but I'm engaging with him on Facebook and on Instagram. I'm commenting on his post. I'm leaving a thoughtful, maybe valuable word of advice or a tip or just how his video or post had impacted me today, what I took away from it. Right? Naturally now, he's probably going to look at my profile maybe even follow me back. And the way that the AI algorithm works is just because now that we've engaged, Devin's going to start seeing Mike Cardascia's content pop up more and more and more.
There it is.
So how do you warm somebody up? Is you expose them to you and your content. You want to make a great first impression by leaving really positive, appreciating type of comments on their posts, so that when you go and give them that phone call or you shoot them that DM, they're just way more likely to say yes, because they know who you are, what you sound like, what you look like. They know you're a person of interest that's getting after it in the industry. I found one of the best ways to warm somebody up is to expose them to my social media content.
Yeah. Well, and that's because you're out there, you're doing it. You're active in this industry. And I think that's important. We want to make sure that we're out there actually putting things that are important to people in this industry, and also sharing our personal lives. People need to know who we are, so they can actually have a connection with us. But then when you do make that reach out, whether it's by phone or it's by a DM, it's like, hey, Mike, I don't know why, but I think social thinks we should know each other. You keep popping up in my feed. And man, I just wanted to reach out and see if we could connect. I love what you're doing. You may have seen me comment or post on a few of your things, and man, we should know each other. Right. So it's very simple and it's very organic, because you took the time to actually build a little bit of a relationship before you built the relationship.
Absolutely. Social selling is really cool. And I've adopted that into even my phone call scripting, where I used to just kind of like a machine gun, just spray through a whole list of calls using a generic script. I'm more of a sniper now, man.
Yeah,
Sniper
I like
isn't
it.
like, I take a little bit more time to do some due diligence. So even when I reach out by phone, just by a social DM, the way we're talking about, I'll personalize it to them, mentioning something. Maybe it's their most recent post, something about their family, their last closing. Maybe they're into Jeeps as well, right? Whatever it is, I'll bring up something personal that I really like or appreciate about them, and then use that as my in to then asking for the appointment. And in that regard, it is way more genuine, authentic, natural than you using a generic script on anybody and everybody, right?
It's a warm, you just took it from cold to warm.
Yep.
Just by taking a little bit more time to warm it up before you went straight in, right? And think about that. When we're building a relationship with somebody, sometimes we get those shotgun relationships. It happens occasionally, and those are typically really explosive. They can be good or bad explosive, right? But those happen. But here, you're taking that same person that you have interested in. You've targeted them out. You're like, this is somebody I think I want to work with. And then you're getting to know them. And let's be honest with each other. We may not want to work with everybody. We may see what people are doing out there and go, that's not my person, right? But this is an opportunity for you to take a peek behind the window and start engaging a little earlier on with meaningful content, right? And letting them kind of lure into you and go, oh, I like this person too. So that when you lean in for that first kiss, they say, yeah, you know what? I'm engaging. I'm ready to engage with you, right? So I love what you're talking about here. And this is a lot of the technique that I've been training our team here at Premier. And I know it's a lot of what you bring to the table with the Go coaching as well, is, hey, we want to reach out to a lot of people. Now, one thing I will say, and I think you'll agree with this too, Mike, is don't wait too long, right? Like, don't go, hey, I'm just going to engage socially and then just never actually go after it. You have to have a point where you go, okay, now we're coming in and we're going to try to build a relationship, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You have to be booking appointments and going forward. So there is a cadence there, which I'd be happy to, if you want to reach out to me offline, I'd be happy to go over what my plan looks like. When it comes to this third pillar, organic content, I find it to be the great amplifier of results. For example, if you're posting quality, consistent social media content, you'll get better results from your warm nurturing. Because trust me, your friends, your family, like the average American scrolls for over 2 hours a day. So we want them binging your content, seeing your face, your name, your value popping up all the time. That's a much better way of staying in flow with somebody than them getting your like monthly email and you reaching out every other year, right? So we really want them to see you on social media so that when you call, they remember you. They have a better impression. Same for cold prospecting. That's how you warm up your lists, whether it's potential borrowers that are coming across you online, whether it's ads that you run, which we'll talk about here in a moment. Like if you're spending money on Facebook or Google to generate leads, you'll get way better results if you have a nice organic presence. And same for cold prospecting. I get calls quite often, and before I answer somebody or reach out to them or book the
The
appointment,
first thing you do.
I'm looking them up to check out is this a good use of my time? Is this somebody I feel aligned with?
Well, I said this the other day, Mike. Social media is the business card of 2025.
Yeah.
Right. Business cards are dead, right? Your social media has become your business card. And when somebody wants to feel confident in who they're doing business with, whether it's a client or an agent, they're looking at what you're doing and they're going, oh, yeah, that's my person. I feel confident with this person. So what are you putting out there? What are you showing them? And I know you hinted around to the other two pillars, but I think we're at time for today. So what we might need to do is make this a part two, man. Let's curb this one and let's do a part two. We'll come back and we'll talk about those other two pillars that are going to make your business move to that next level. And what are we talking about? 7 figures plus, right? That's what we're talking about. If you master the first three that Mike's talked about today, you can easily get to 6 figures, right? You want to go to 7. Well, let's talk about that on the next one. What do you think, Mike?
Oh, the next two are really exciting. So absolutely. And if you want to reach out to me offline, just look me up on Facebook, on Instagram. I would be happy to carve out a few minutes and chat with you about any of these pillars that you feel like you need help with, guys.
Yeah. Well, guys, we started this thing off. Like I said, you probably already know Magic Mike Cardascia. He is a legend in this space. So I'm sure when you saw that name popped up, you said, man, I got to get over to this one. And we're glad that you did. Hope you love the content. I'm sure you do. And look out for the part 2 where we'll talk those other 2 pillars and get you from 6 figures to 7 figures a year. I promise it can be done in this market right now. There's people out there right now that Mike's been coaching with, that I've been coaching with, that are hitting those marks, and we're here to share it with you. So, guys, keep coming back for the content. We'll have all of Mike's information in there. Go follow his page. Please make sure if you're not already, follow this page. Put some comments down there so that we know what to talk about on the next one, and share it with 3 originators that right now in this industry that need to hear it. So, hey, I think that's going to do it today, Mike. What do you say, brother?
Rock and roll. That was epic. Thank you.
My man. Well, we started with it, so let's finish with it. We're going to come right back out.
Take it from the top.
He did too. He brought the heat today. Thank you guys for stopping in. We appreciate you. Oh, I can't talk. I'm so excited. We appreciate you as always. We will see you soon.